So welcome all. This is another mini project we are going to discuss. And again, I will be doing this in Angular only. So this is very famous and very normal project scenario. Let's say we have an hospital. Let's say we get a client who has who has a independent hospital, right? And he wants to create an application where he can maintain all his appointments, right? So either directly patients also can do the appointment booking, right? Or his staff also can do the appointment booking, right? So this is just a single form where we will be doing the appointment, right? So this is what do we say? Patients can also do their bookings from this page, right? And that data will be visible to the staff, right? Hospital staff. So this is just a page where patient will be booking their appointment, and another page is here. Here we will show the list of appointments. If you see here, so whenever someone book an appointment, they will get a by the order they will do the appointment booking. They will get the token number also, appointment number, right? And once in the staff login, right, we will be able to see all the appointments. Then once let's say Rohit Sharma attended, doctor has attended this particular patient, so we can mark it as done, right? So that we get to know like how many patients are still remaining, and this information we can showcase on a screen also, so that all the waiting patients can have a look like how much time they are going to need, right? So basic things are there. Just and one more page we will be creating, that will be dashboard, like how many visits we have today, how many are done, how many are left. And here in the appointment list, you can see two buttons are there. If we click on all, we get to see all the appointments done till now. But if we click on 2 days, we will only get to see the 2 days appointment, just to filter out, right? API you can find in free api.miniprojectideas.com. So in the hospital appointment, you can find all the APIs, right? So these are the few APIs which we are going to need to complete this application. Login part we are not going to cover, just a static login part we will cover, not with the API, like just the static code, right? Then dashboard API is there, get all patient, get patient by ID, add new patient, update patient, delete patient, then get all appointment, get 2 days appointment, get appointment by appointment ID, right? Add new appointment, mark appointment done, and delete appointment. So basic CRUD APIs are there along with the dashboard API, right? So let's get started. So first thing, this is just an initial project. This UI is already there in my repository in the YouTube project template. Both the pages are already there. That only I'm going to use. I have created a basic empty project. So in that, we are going to create the components now. So checking the UI, like we need one component where we will be, let's say new appointment. Then we need one more component where we'll be showing all the appointments, and one more component for the dashboard that I have not designed, but we will design it. And this video will be in the two parts. So in the first part, I will try to complete creating new appointment and showing the list of the appointment. Then in the last part, I will complete the dashboard. So let's try. So first we have to create the component. So in the app folder, I have to create pages folder, and inside that I will create the component. So right click, open in integrated terminal. Now we have to create components. So components will be ng generate component, new appointment. This is the first component I'm going to need. Then appointment list and the dashboard. Three components we are going to create. New appointment. Appointment list. This is the second component where we will be showing all the appointments. And third component will be dashboard. Right? So three components we have created. Now, once we create the components, all those components are going to be added in the declaration section of our app module. You can see all three components has been added. Now, in the start of the project only, you can do all the imports. Obviously, we are going to need the ng model for binding the data and everything. So I will need forms module. So in import section, I will add the forms module. Then we are going to need HTTP client module also, because obviously we are going to do this project with the API integration. So we are going to do all the API integration through HTTP client module, right? So HTTP client module. Okay, it is not coming. So let's just add the import first. It will come from common slash HTTP. And here we have to write HTTP client module. And this same thing we have to add it over here, right? So our app module work is done. Let's close it. Now we are going to need a service also. So in app folder, I'm going to create a folder service. And inside this service, I will create one service where I will be creating all my API call functions. ng generate service, let's say master. I'm just giving it a name as a master. So one service will be created into my service folder, right? So service we don't have to add in the providers. In the app module, we don't have to register anywhere because it is the single object will be available throughout the application, right? Now, if you see the template, we have a navbar at the bottom, right? So let's copy that navbar. The navbar, we will keep it at the app component, right? So in the app component, I will keep my navbar. Let me run the application also. ngs -o to open the application once it runs. So I'm opening, I'm simply running the ngs command. So it will by default run on the localhost 4200 also. If you need to run it on the separate port, so command will be ngs -port and whatever the port number you need, 4201, 4203, whatever the port you need. If you want to run 2 or 3 projects simultaneously, so you can run the different port like this, right? But currently navbar is not coming. Why is it so? Because we have not added the bootstrap. Let me just see. Okay, navbar is coming, right? Now, after navbar, we need, so just like you can see, after navbar, we need container fluid, right? And in container fluid, we are going to add the router outlet. So after navbar, we are going to need container fluid, and here we will add router outlet like this, right? Same output will be there because any component is not loaded in because we have not created the routes, right? So let's close this. Now we have to go to app routing module.ts. After creating component, first step should be we have to create the routes of the components we have created. We have created 3 components, right? So we have created routes. So route is nothing but an object. So path, let's say first empty route will be there, default route, and redirect to. If we don't have anything in the route, so let's say home page and path mesh strategy with full. This extra parameter we need to. So this is my default route. If in the URL we don't have anything, it will redirect to home. Now we have to create the home route. So path, and here it will be home. And on home component, we have to load dashboard. Okay, dashboard component on the click of home. Then another route that will be for new appointment. So let's make it as a new component, new appointment. Then one more route, path will be appointment list. So let's name it as a list only. Component, appointment, list component. So you can see we have created all the routes we are going to need. Let me just adjust some things properly, right? So you can see route has been created successfully. Once I save it, now you will get to see the default page. See, if we don't have anything in the URL, home component is automatically loaded because we have set that home component as a default route, right? So if we don't have anything in the URL, it is going to redirect to the home components. That's why dashboard component loaded. Let's rename it dashboard instead of home. That will make more sense. Dashboard, and here also dashboard. So now by default, it will go to dashboard, right? Okay. Now this on, we have the navbar, right? So on click of new appointment, it should redirect to new page, and on appointment list, it should redirect to new page, appointment list page. So let's do that. In the app component, we have the navbar, right? So on the dashboard, instead of href in Angular, we have to use router link. Those who have created Angular 17 project, so you might not get app module and everything. So in app component, if you have to use the router link now, so you need to import this also, because this project I have created with 16, so I don't have to import it. But if you are using Angular 17, you need to import it also over here in the imports array. Okay, here you need to import router link, router routed, everything. Whatever you are using, you need to import everything in the component, right? So router link slash our route name, that is dashboard, will go over here just like that. Let me just remove this. And here we have to add new, and here list, our path name we are passing. Let's just save and check. Save all. Right. So if I click on new appointment, you can see component is getting changed, URL also getting changed. Appointment list, again dashboard, right? So our routing is done, right? So first part we will touch its new appointment, right? So in the new appointment component, let's just copy the HTML. So in the list, this is the appointment form. So this thing we are going to need. So let me just copy this section and put it over here. Now for this, I'm going to need some CSS. So I will just copy this CSS and put it in a global, because this CSS I'm going to need everywhere. Let's save and check. New appointment. Okay, I think it is not saved. Let me just save it properly. Now here we should see the appointment, right? So you can see same form is visible over here, but image is not coming. So let's see why image is not coming. Card body we have to remove. Now in asset folder, I have to add the image. Whatever the image I have used over here, that image I need to add it over there. So that was what image I have used. back2.png. So this back2.png, I have to copy it from over here. This is also provided in the repository, so you can use that also. Now I have to put that in the asset folder. Now we just need to make some changes. Now the image we are going to get from asset folder, right? Assets slash back2. Let's save and check if image is visible. Right, so image is visible. So whatever the UI we have seen, that UI is created now. Now, first we have to check like what API we are going to need integrate on the click of what is the book appointment, right? So here add new appointment is the API. So here you can see this is the object that we have to send along with the API. So let's copy this. Now we have to go to the .ts. I have to create the object. So appoint obj :any, right? So object I have created. Let me just format. Now let me just empty everything. Now, either you can create class or interface also, but just to limit the video length, I'm going with any, right? But you can always go and create class and interface of these properties, and then you, instead of any, you can use that class or interface name, right? Now, I have created object. Now this object, I have to bind to my form also, right? So in all the elements, we have to bind it. So from starting with text box. So square bracket, round bracket, ng model, my object dot, then property name, that is name, right? So like this, I have to bind to all the elements. So I will just copy paste it for now. And one more thing, all the element we have created all the element inside the form tag. So once if we are using ng model inside the form tag now, then name attribute also get mandatory. Right. So these two things we are going to need. So I will just copy and paste it everywhere. Try to learn the copy paste how you can just to increase the speed, right? Better to learn the copy paste, like what things you can do the copy paste so that you can increase the development speed. Date, example time, and narration. Now we just need to change the field names. I will just open this in the side panel. So narration will go over here. Then appointment time, it will go over here, over here also. Appointment date, here also, then gender, over here also, then age. Why we have time two times? Okay, is first time. This will go over here. Checkbox. Then age, city, mobile number, the last one. Right? So whatever the fields we had, that we have connected with the form. Something is not right. Let's check. Narration. Something wrong is there at the narration. Let's see. What is wrong? Property. Okay. Just because his file was not saved. Right. So now it is compiled successfully. Now, so whatever the object, whatever the fields we had in that object, we have bind that to the form. After that, on click of this book appointment, we need to integrate our API call, right? So before making the API call in the service, first we will create the service. So private HTTP client. And here we have to create the service call. Create new. Right? So this, whatever the API call we are going to do, so we are going to return. So this dot HTTP dot post API call. URL and the object we have to send. Object we will get it from the parameter. So obj colon any. And this object we have to send to the post API. And this data, this function is going to return the data type of observable. So we need to provide that also. Observable any. Right. So let's check the URL. Let's try it out. Execute. This is my URL. So I will just copy paste it. Now URL is almost the static URL is the same, just the method name is getting changed. So I will create one variable that is API endpoint colon string and store my constant URL that will be up to this. And this appointment, right? Up to this, it is constant. Just after that, method name is going to change. So this dot API endpoint plus I will concatenate. So my URL will become like this: hospital appointment slash this, right? So our API call function is ready. Now I have to integrate this master service into my component, that is new appointment component. So again, I have to create constructor with dependency injection. I have to integrate that master colon master service. I need the import also. The import is done. Now, in the component, we have to create a function that will actually make the API call to this service. We will call that particular function from the service. So on save appointment, right? And here this dot master dot, only one function is there, that is create new. And for this create new, we just have to send the object. You can see only one parameter, that is nothing but this object. So this dot appointment object we have to send, then dot subscribe method, round bracket, res colon any, arrow function. This is a success call, just like that. Error callback also should be there, right? So if API call is success, it will execute this block. Otherwise, it will execute this block. If we come across any error, then this error block will execute. Right. So if you see, all my APIs will return an object. In that object, I will have message, result, and data property. And this is the property, result one, which will make sure like API call is success or not, like data is successfully created or not, right? So we can add a check with this property. So for that, here if res dot result is true, then we will simply show the alert like appointment done. And we have to inform the, what do we say, appointment number also. So appointment number, I think we are getting, let me just check appointment number. Okay, so I have not sent it, but I will modify the response. In the response, you will get the appointment number also. Okay, now, so appointment done, message we have shown. Appointment message we have shown, and in error, we can show the error. So simply here we can say API error, check form. Okay. Now this function we have to call on the button click. So this is our button. So on click of it, we will call that function, right? So let's just save and check. So first let's check how many records are there existing in get all appointment. Try it out, execute. We are just checking like how many records are there. So 1, 2, 3. Only 3 records are there, right? So once we do the appointment booking, we should expect 4th record also. Right now, let's add Rohit Vardana. Let's enter a dummy mobile number 88888899. Okay, just a dummy mobile number we have added. Let's enter city. Let's say Pune. Here we have to add the, what do we say, time. Sorry, this is for the age. Yeah, this is for the age. Let's say 23. Let's consider this is my first time, so I can check this. I'm male. Let's select date for 2 days only, and let's enter a time. Let's say I need to visit it at 5 p.m. Okay. Then just some, if we have to specify something, whatever, right? You can, I will reach by 5 p.m. Okay, just a message so that hospital staff will have some idea, right? Now let's just inspect. Let me just dock it. Right, so now in the network tab, we should be able to see the API call. So on click of save button, yes, so you can see API call is success, appointment done, message also we have got. Let's check the response. So in the payload, you can see whatever the data we have filled in the form, that data we have sent along with the object. In the payload, you get to see the object what we have sent. And in response, you can see result is coming true, right? So that's why appointment is successfully done. Now let's go to Swagger and check, execute one more time. So existing, we just had a 3 record. Let's check one more record we should get. Right, see Rohit Vardana. Appointment number we have got is 2, right? In the get API call, it is showing as 2, right? So our save appointment means create new appointment part is done. Now on the new appointment list, currently I have not done the login part, but this page will be visible if for the staff member also, staff only, hospital staff only, right? But in the next video, I will just integrate the login thing also. Then this link will be visible only if you are logged in with the hospital staff. Okay. Now, so in the appointment list, what we have to do, we just have to show all the appointments, right? So whatever the UI we have seen over here, this was the UI, right? So this UI, we have to just copy paste. So list, let me just copy paste this. So I will just copy paste this and put it in the appointment list. That's it. Let's save and check if it is looking proper, just like the UI we have seen. Something not correct. Let me just get the CSS. I think, yeah. So we had some CSS for this. So let me just get all the CSS. I've just copied it from some site only. So in the appointment list, I will need all this CSS. Let's save and check. Yeah, now it is looking proper, right? Now, something is not correct. Okay, it needs some gray background. Let's add that also. That was coming from a body, but in component we don't have a body, right? So we can create a parent div and all and add that color over there. So here I will add and parent. Okay, and this class I will add to a parent div. So let's create a parent div. And let's wrap that inside it in parent div. Let's save and check if we get that background color also. Yeah, we are getting that, but some space is there because we don't have the actual data. Let's remove that. Not needed actually. Let it be like this only. Right? So UI is done. Now on the page load of this, we have to integrate our this API, that is get all appointment. Right? Now on this page, two API call are going to be there. If we click on all, get all appointment booking, we have to call. If we click on 2 days, then get 2 days appointment, this API call we have to done. Right? So let's just create function call for both of these. So in master service, get all appointment. This is going to be get call. So return this dot http dot get from bracket URL. So let's check the URL of get all appointment. So just this method we need to pass, right? Because remaining API endpoint we already have stored in this variable. After this is the endpoint, this dot API endpoint plus concatenation, right? This is the get method. So again, observable thing we are going to need here also. And after get also we can specify this. Right, so get API call is done just like that. One more API call for get all 2 days appointment. If I just need to check 2 days appointment, method name is something different. This will go over here. Only the method name change we have to do. It will go over here. That's it. So in our service, two API call functions are ready. Now we just need to make this on the page load. Okay, at least one API call we on the page load, right? So basically, if I logged into as a hospital staff, I just need to see the 2 days appointment. So on the page load, we will make this API call. Let's close this. Now in this component, so first constructor we have to create. We have to create the master service object. Master service, right? And on the page load, we are going to make that API call. So we have to implement the on init lifecycle event, comma, on init, and we have to implement also. Implement on init. Once we do that, it will ask us to create the ng on init function. That is done. Now we will create one more method. Get, let's say 2 days appointments. And now in this function, we are going to call that particular function, which is going to make the 2 days appointment API call. So this dot master dot get 2 days appointment, right? For this function, we don't have any parameters. So we don't need to pass anything. Result colon any arrow function, right? So this is just a get API call. So one more error block we can add. Always make a habit to add the success and the error callback. Your API call code should look like this, right? Now, whatever the API call we are doing, we are in response, we are going to get the data. That data we need to store it also. So appointment list variable I'm creating with any, this is going to be array of objects. So any of array and initializing with empty. The data we will get, spelling mistake is appointment list. The data we are going to get, we need to store it. So this dot appointment list is equal to res dot data. If you check the API, why it is giving error? What it is does not exist. Spelling mistake. Okay. So if you check the API now, I get the data in my data with property. All my API return a object. In that object, we get three properties: message, result, and data. And if I am expecting data, that data I will get in the data property. So result dot data, right? And in alert again, we can show API error. Okay. Now this function we have to trigger on the page load. So let's just see if we are making the API call in the network tab, then we will integrate the for loop on the data. So let's go to new appointment, right? If we move to appointment list, yes. So on the page load, we have the data. So currently you can see only two records are there for today's date, 22, right? Only two records are there. Remaining, I think yesterday's record were there. Now we have got the data. That data we have stored in our variable also. Let's close this. We don't need this project now. Now this appointment list will hold all the appointment, right? So we have a card. On that card, this was static thing. Let me just remove the static code. We just need one. And here I need to add the star ng for loop. Let item of, right? And whatever the things we have to do dynamic, we can do using interpolation instead of the static. Now item dot, let's check the API response. What data we are getting? Patient name in name property. Here we have to show the appointment number, that is appointment number field. City we have to show, instead of Mumbai, city we have to show. Okay, in get API, I'm not getting city. So let it be static one only. Here I have to show the date. So appointment date, and from that date we get everything, but we can just show the proper date. So we can use date pipe. Along with that, format dd hyphen mmm hyphen yy, and we have to show the time also. So time we can show time we are getting in the appointment time field. So that we have to bind it over here, right? So let's just see if things are there properly or not. Continue. Yes. So on the page load, you can see today's appointment, we are getting only two appointment, right? Now the next part was on click of all, we have to make the another API call that will load all the appointments, whatever the appointment I have received for my hospital, right? So we had this button, right? So on click of today, again, that same API call we have to make. So on click of today, we will call this function, get today's appointment. Just like that, on click of all, we need to create one more function. Let me just call it get all appointments. Now let's create this function. Just like this. I will just copy paste the code because same code will be there. Just the method name will be there. Instead of get all appointment, now it will be get all appointment, right? So let's check. If we click on get all appointments, all the appointments should be visible. Right. So on the page load, you can see get today's appointment API call is there. But now if I click on all, see four records are visible. Two records are of yesterday's, that is 21, 21, right? And today's is this two only. And now if I click on today's, you can see only two. So filtering is also done. Next part is this done. Okay, so this was static. So as per UI, you can see if appointment is not done, so we have to add a show the button that is marked done. If you check the API, this is that flag is done. If this is false, if in this particular variable, if we have the value false, then we have to show the mark done button. So this is that button. Let me just copy paste this button. So done button will be visible if, so star ng if item dot is done. If this property is false, sorry, if this property is true, means this appointment is, this patient has already checked by the doctor. So we can say done. But is instead of this with not, if is done is false, so we have to say mark done. Let's add outline and with primary. So let's check. Some spelling mistake is there. outline, outline primary. Right. So both these appointments are new. So on click of mark done, again, we have to make an API call. So that API call also is there. Today's appointment, mark appointment done. So you can see this is a get API, but we have to send the appointment ID, right? So let's create one more function. So this is get only. I'm just copy pasting it. Mark appointment done. Let's check the API call name, mark appointment. Always try to copy paste the URL so that you don't make the spelling mistake. Cut, paste. Now, for this your API, we have to send the appointment ID, right? So let's just see that. So your URL should look like this. After that, appointment ID equal to, and whatever the appointment ID you have to pass like this. And here we have to pass the appointment ID. So whenever you are calling this function from the component, you will send the appointment ID, right? So that appointment ID, you need to get it. Number, and this appointment ID, you need to attach it with concatenation. That's it, like this. Now this API call we have to make on the mark done button. Let's remove this hash because it was navigating to the landing page. So here on click, mark done, and we need to pass the appointment ID. So item dot, let's check the get API call. The field name is appointment ID. This we have to pass because for this API call, we need to pass the appointment ID. So from front end also, while calling this method, we are passing the appointment ID. So let's create this function. Right. So same API call is there, get only. So like that, I'm copy pasting. But when I'm calling this function from the button click, I'm passing the appointment ID. So we need to catch that. So here we will add a parameter with data type number. And from service, we have to call mark appointment done function, and we need to pass the appointment ID. So calling the passing this. Right. So, and once we mark the appointment then we have to call the API. We have to call the, what do we say? Again, get today's appointment API call. So this function we will call in success of this. Again, right? So let's just save all and check. Let's check the network call also. So on the page load, we are showing all the today's appointment, right? Now let's clear it. Let's say doctor has checked Rohit Vardhana. So if I clicked on mark done, you can see one API call is there, but something is not correct. Appointment mark done is there, but here is done is not getting changed. Let me just check the API, why it is not getting changed. So I have changed the API and deployed it again on the server. Now let's check it. So if I click on mark done, see, now mark done is success. And after that, in the get API call again, we are getting that is done property as true, right? So that is also done. One more thing we have left, like in the new appointment, when we do the appointment, we need to show the appointment number also. So that I have also modified. So now when we save, we will get the new appointment number also, and that we can show in the alert box. So that was the alert box. This appointment done, and appointment number is, we can pass res.data.appointment number. So that is nothing but appointment number. We have to show it over here. So let's check this flow also. Once we do the appointment, we will get to see the appointment number also. Right. So let's say Radhika. Let's enter a dummy number. Let's enter city, Pune only. Let's enter age, 32. Not a first time visit, female. Let's enter today's date only, 6 p.m. Let's enter some dummy narration. On click of book appointment, you can see appointment number is 3. So if you remember, we for this particular date, we had 2 appointment already. Now this Radhika has got 3rd number, right? So let's click on OK. If we go to appointment list, see Radhika is not done yet. Again, we can filter it out according to the done state also, like done will be at the first, right? Like this. So this is just a basic flow. One more flow is remaining, that is dashboard and the login part, because this page, appointment list page, should not be visible to everyone, right? It should be only visible to the hospital staff. So we will implement the login page and we will complete the dashboard and the login part. So that's it with the current video. Please stay tuned for the next part also. Then we will host this application on the GitHub page also, so you can have access to the live version also. If you are new to this channel, please do like and subscribe my videos also. Thanks a lot.